Hey everybody, it's your hospitality friend Glenn here with Ryan Growney. He's the general manager out South Point Hotel, Casino, Resort off of the Las Vegas Strip. I gotta say, just to get started, I had a lot of preconceived notions coming in here. I'm thinking Las Vegas off-strip resort, it's not gonna have the energy, it's not gonna have the excitement. I walked into this place yesterday on a Sunday, so packed, stayed that way till after 10 p.m. It's a Monday morning, still packed. Wow. That's all I got to say.
Michael Gaughan has been tweaking models ever since the Royal Inn, then Barbary Coast, Gold Coast, Orleans, Suncoast, and then here. And what we have here, we call it a hybrid, right? We're on Las Vegas Boulevard, but just far enough off the Las Vegas Strip. I have 2,163 hotel rooms. I have 2,000 timeshares next door that we have no financial responsibility or relationship with.
But a lot of walk-in business.
But we treat them like they're our customers. If they want to come use our pool, they have no restaurants over there, so they all come over here. But then we also, Michael's been taking care of locals forever. So we have all the amenities that locals want. We have the bingo room. We have very reasonable pricing. All of our restaurants very reasonable. Drink prices. And hotel guests get the benefit of that. But then we have a lot of amenities, the spa, the hotel amenities that we have that the locals might get to use. So it's a beautiful hybrid that everyone kind of gets to enjoy. And it allows us, we have an equestrian center, we have a bowling tournament center.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at all of this. And while we're talking, while we're walking and talking, we're going to talk a little bit about the evolution of the property. First opened in 2004? 2005. Sorry. 2005. You're coming up on 20 years. That's been cool. All right, let's walk and start taking me in the direction of whatever you think would be most interesting.
Well, I think we'll hit the casino floor here for a little while. I do, but let's go this way. We'll go left.
Sounds good.
What does it kind make a circular lap?
Gaming over here.
You're looking at about 170,
180,000 square feet. A lot of the casinos here in Las Vegas are around 100,000 square feet or smaller. So this one is pretty...
it's good size. Yeah, I think us and maybe MGM. Now, if you count Wynn and Encore together...
Right. Well,
and if you count Venetian and Palazzo together...
Yeah, those are two separate floors. I mean, Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun try that stuff in Connecticut.
Right.
But as far as a continuous gaming space, this is up there with MGM Grand.
It's up there.
Yeah. All right, so we're headed towards the Sportsbook. Let's take
a look at the Sportsbook. I'll tell you, number one Sportsbook in town by tickets, number of tickets written.
No way.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We also have the 6 kiosks available. But on Sunday morning, and this is just sports, so something we did differently here at the property that's very unique, doesn't exist anywhere that I'm aware of, is we have a separate Sportsbook, and then we'll go look at the race book. Because Sportsbook fans yesterday, they're going to be screaming all those upsets yesterday. They're going to be hollering, throwing their papers and everything else, and then you go to the race book, and those guys want it quiet. They want to sit there and they want to handicap the horses, do all those things. So we built them their own race and Sportsbook separately. So this place would have been just absolutely mobbed yesterday for NFL Sunday.
Yeah, for sure.
But it stays busy all through football season. Baseball lulls a little bit, but as soon as football kicks back off, it really brings another element of excitement to this property really over the entire thing.
Yeah, and it's really unbelievable. And what I really liked was the excitement and the energy. And all right, let's just keep walking a little bit more. But I'm thinking about your business mix because I had the preconceived notion that there's going to be a lot of locals, but you have convention space. You have a huge conference coming in today as we're speaking. So it seems like it's a mix of out of town and local.
And we tried that. We want to I want a group in the arena. I want a group in the bowling center. I want a group in the conference center. So it's a great mix that you have, as opposed to one huge group that when they all let out at the same time, they're hitting your restaurants at the same time. I'd rather a bunch of large groups that are all intermingling. And a lot between the equestrian center and bowling, very like-minded individuals. You're not going to get anybody, they like the same things, cold beer, and it makes it pretty easy. And then the conference, so a big boot barn convention coming in today. It's about 650 rooms a night. Their national sales conference, all the general managers, all the boot barns across the country. They're a sponsor of our arena. Wonderful piece of business. But we just try to keep the box full and let the game.
Well, that's as I've talked to some other, my friends in town, the chief sales officers and stuff. It's really about finding that right mix of business that helps fill the hotel at the right price every single night. Such a tricky thing.
It's a balancing act. We have gotten to the point now, like our arena, we're in action 48 weeks a year. So we don't have a lot of space to
8 weeks a year.
And the other 3 or 4, we don't want anything in there. We have other things going on the property that we just couldn't handle anything in the arena.
That's incredible. The arena has 4,900 seats, which is pretty nice.
4,600. You got it. Yep. We'll go out there. It's pretty neat. This thing's
let's take a look at this. We're going to take a look at the studio over here. which is absolutely fantastic. So as a podcasting guy, I have a studio at home and I've worked from some of the studios in town, but I haven't seen one before that's right on the casino floor.
So a guy named Brian Musburger, Brent Musburger's nephew, came to us, and he had the foresight before PASPA was repealed. We saw it coming, and he wanted to get out in the marketplace. The first show really dedicated to sports wagering, because ESPN couldn't talk, all these places couldn't talk about it.
Right.
We could talk about it.
That's amazing.
So we built this studio for him. It was called VSiN, Vegas Stats and Information Network, purchased by DraftKings. So they ended up moving out. So now we are running 4 shows a day here on our own accord, and then we have partnered up with some other individuals. Ralph Sirocco does a horse racing show out of here.
Right.
We're doing the Western Sports Roundup for the NFR out of here. So we found utilization for it. I think it's kind of a cool piece right here next to the sports book. Worst case scenario, rip it out and put more slot machines in. But right now we're having.
Hey, I absolutely love it, and we're going real quick here. So let me just share a couple of other little things. Number one NFR is the National Finals Rodeo. It's here traditionally every December. In town, the whole city becomes cowboy country, and I thought the other hotels were fully involved, but a lot of the horses and people stay out here because you have the Equestrian Center, right?
Correct. And I could run you through the schedule of events during the NFR, but it's
crazy.
But yes, because so we do Miss Rodeo, America pageant, we do the Professional Rodeos and Cowboys Association National Convention, we do the Breakaway Finals, which is the 8th discipline in the rodeo world. And then we do Benny Binion, Bucking Horse and Bull Sale.
Oh, wow.
Stay Smith Bronc Futurity. And then we do the World Series of Team Roping, which is a $16 million team roping. We'll have 5,000 horses on property. So no one else can do that but us because of the Equestrian Center, which we'll see.
Totally. All right, so where should we go now?
Well, let's check out the race book just so you can see it. Yeah. Number 1 hot dog cart in the town.
Yeah. So as we're talking, I love it. The hot dog carts are great.
They're fantastic. We probably did about 1,400 hot dogs yesterday.
Yeah. All right. I'm just showing the casino as we're talking. So here at the racebook, I like that you have the racebook and sportsbook separate. That's not something that you typically see in a lot of places.
Because behind the counter, the employees, the technology, the rider stations, all of that from an efficiency standpoint, you would want race and sports together. But when you get on this side of the counter, and Michael Gaughan always wants to give his customers exactly what they want, and this is what they want. They want to be able to sit here, not be bothered, and they're not screaming. They're figuring out when the next race is going to kick off, what bets they're going to make. So we gave them each their own spot, and it's really worked out well. And again, this is Monday morning at 10:30, but it's a nice little crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the West Coast tracks are just taking off now, but already racing has begun on the East Coast tracks, and I'm sure you simulcast throughout the entire country. Yep. I grew up going to Aqueduct in Belmont.
Oh, nice.
Growing up in New York, but I always love this sort of stuff, the horse racing and just horses in general. But what's interesting to me is I've never seen a race book so vibrant here in town because, it's not a shock that, generally speaking, horse racing has been on the decline for decades. To see such fervor here is kind of exciting. Do you think because more of your connection to horses and the Equestrian Center and all those things, it might be bringing that type of fan here more often?
I don't know. I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's what we give them. And Michael, again, is always, and he's been in the business almost 60 years.
So we got to take a stop on this one too, because not only that, but his father Jackie Gaughan and your dad also were here decades and decades ago too. So 50s, 60s, that type of era, helping define what modern Las Vegas is, and you're really keeping that spirit alive over here by not being one of those corporate.
It was modern, and now we're old school. Philosophies work. So we're hanging on to them, and we think we're benefiting from it because you're right. Some of the things that some of these corporations do, I sometimes question, but that's what they do, and this is what we do. So it's working out well for us. So we're gonna stick to those old school philosophies.
What should we go see next?
Poker room, and then we'll maybe pop upstairs.
The old school philosophy is so critical because one of the things that I preach, and I've been in the business 28, 29 years already, is connecting with people. Everyone in hospitality does such a great job that we have to make those real emotional connections through humanity, right? And I'm seeing that here. Everyone makes eye contact and talks to you when there are a lot of hotels they don't. 10:30 a.m. on a Monday, look at this poker room.
We expanded it during COVID. When we were closed down for COVID, we added this last row of tables because we just couldn't get enough. It's full, and it's full. I can't. Jason Sanborn, he does an absolute fantastic job. Yeah. And we keep this thing jumping. Whether it's tournaments or just open play. We got a bunch of great promotions, some free rolls that we bring in. And yeah, the poker room looks like this pretty much all day, every day.
That's pretty wild.
It's fun.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, poker is something that people absolutely can't get enough of in this town, and everyone's got their favorite poker room for sure. So, how are you getting people here as opposed to some other places in town?
Well, we're very fair on the rake, and the promotions, the tournaments we run are very fair. And you gotta. People want to go where the action is. You don't want to walk into a joint that's dead.
No.
So many people say, "Hey, let's go somewhere. Where do you want to go?" I don't know. Let's go to South Point. What's going on there? I don't know, but something.
Right.
Something. I know I can get a game.
Right.
If I want to go play poker. I know there's going to be people hanging around the casino, and it's just that energy brings more energy.
And I'll tell you, that's one of the best compliments you could give.
Right.
I think, but there's always something happening because there's so many resorts that the poker rooms will just be dead, or maybe they'll have one table playing, and that's no fun.
And again, we get that benefit. We're out here in the local environment, and the southwest side of town really has taken off from a residential standpoint, whether it's apartments or additional homes. It's excuse me.
Yep.
We get both sides of the aisle, and it's really worked out well. Real quick, I'll just run. So we call this Restaurant Row. You go all the way
down here. When we first started the shot at the Steak and Shake.
Yeah, number one steak and shake in the country.
And you got the Asian restaurant.
Sushi, it's excellent. And then we're not going to go all the way down the whole way, but we go. We like to whatever you want. We got it. So I got sushi. I got a burger joint. I got a buffet. Only buffet in town, open 3-meal period, 7 days a week. And I understand a lot of places are taking their buffets out. It happened kind of during COVID.
Yep.
Yes, buffets are expensive. They lose a lot of money. But look at the line on my buffet right now. It's 10:30 in the morning.
Right.
People love buffets, so we're gonna keep the buffets.
So I got a confession for you. I haven't had a buffet in 15 years. Had one last night.
Right here.
It was
great.
right. Yeah. I thought $28 with the player's card, $30 without the player's card. I thought it was incredible value.
Good value.
Especially with what people are charging for meals these days. You go down to the resort, you could pay 2, 3, 4 times as much for a buffet experience, and that's not hyperbole over there. And as part of being connected to a community here, my hunch is, because you guys are smart operators, is that you add that value to help get people in the door
100%.
And do all of that kind of stuff, right?
Marketing expense.
Yeah.
Then our 2 favorite days of the year, we do veterans eat free, plus a guest. And the first time, so I started in July, so it would have been, I guess, whatever that first Veterans Day was.
Like
I walk in, 2010, I walk in and there is a line wrapped around all the way, and I go, what are we, these people are going to, this is terrible.
Right.
We get 200 thank you cards. Thank you for honoring the veterans. They stand in line.
Yep.
Where'd you serve? And it just turns into an amazing day.
That's really great.
Yeah, that's fun.
All right, let's keep walking.
We got bingo and movie upstairs. We can go through the casino.
Let's go through the bingo area and stuff like that, because we already saw the casino, right? All right, so headed up this big escalator up to the movie theaters. So I was down on the casino floor last night after dinner, and I smelled the popcorn. And, oh man, and I want to have some of this popcorn over here. That's for sure. All right, so I've noticed you've got all sorts of stuff that we've been talking about. Most of it's on the second level.
Oh, I don't know most of it, but up here we have
the bowling center.
Well, we have 2 bowling centers.
One's up for tournaments.
One's tournament.
I got to see that.
We'll go. Yeah. And then one's your normal Jane and Joe 6-pack bowling center. So up here I got bowling, movies, and bingo. Yeah. 16 screen Century Theaters. Beautiful. It's got the reclining seats, the heaters, the coolers.
It's fantastic. Take a look at that back there.
So again, this would be a local driver, but you're out of town guest. You know what? This afternoon, let's just go relax and watch a movie.
No, for sure. I was at an event in Memphis a few weeks ago, and I had nothing to do one night. I'm like, all right, I guess it's Deadpool Wolverine for me.
How was it?
It was great.
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, say it's good.
But I grew up. I grew up with those comics in the '80s and stuff like that, so I loved all that kind of stuff. I'm actually selling a whole collection of old comic books I collect.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my first business was selling comic books in high school, which was a lot.
All right,
where are we going? Bowling center.
Bowling center.
All right, let's take a look at the bowling center. Flip the camera around. This is great.
I know. So this will be a bunch of our senior leagues that we bring in. And again, so it's 10:30 in the morning on a Monday, but we plug and play and put things in. Hey, what do you want to do? The only time I could do this league is 10:30 in the morning on a Monday.
That's
what do you think?
Wow.
And here you go. So all these people show up, and
this is absolutely phenomenal. How many lanes are here?
64.
64? My goodness. That's pretty incredible. So, how significant is the bowling business, or is it more just like everything kind of adds up to create the perfect formula?
So the normal bowling, all the local casinos have, yeah, because it does this. It drives people. They're good customers. Generally, you get a player dynamic out of them, and so it works out well. But now, to us, we're the bowling capital of the world. When I show you the tournament bowling facility, and I'll get into that when we get out there, now it's become an absolute. It's the biggest piece of business that we have.
Really?
When you talk about the Open Championship that concluded July 29th, we had 55,200 bowlers participate in one tournament.
55.
Yeah.
How do you?
6 months long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have 1,200 on property a day, and every day 300 or 400 leave, and every day 300 or 400 come.
All right, here's something I've been wanting to do for years is bingo. So let's take a quick look inside the bingo area.
Hello, sir. So getting ready for the 11 o'clock session.
Yeah. So you don't see a lot of bingo on the strip.
Not on the strip. It's a local game.
Yeah.
And it does well. And again, it's the demo that you're looking for.
Yeah.
It gives them something to do. It brings them on the property. They got an hour in between every session. If they want to go downstairs and do some other stuff, they're welcome to. But nice, clean, cool, great signage.
Yeah.
A lot of windows so that we keep the lines down.
I also like the lighting in here too. It's really bright and keep me very focused and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to stay focused.
I know. I might have to go play bingo.
Get the electronic.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
I like that. So how many employees do you have working here?
About 3,300.
3,300. Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to point this out. Yep. This is Michael's restaurant. She's probably locked. But so Michael's started in 1981 at the Barbary Coast. That door, that sign are original. The chandelier inside, also original, and the stained glass is original. Michael started this at the Barbary Coast. It's named after Michael Gone. At the Barbary Coast back then, all they had was a coffee shop. So at night, they'd lose all their players to the strip. They'd want to go to another restaurant or something else. So I need something that will keep the players on property. And they built this. It's after the candlelight room. Still, gourmet, tableside service. Everybody's in tuxedos. Real, and you talk about old school. And I get in trouble for this sometimes. Some people appreciate it. But if you sit down with the young lady, your menu has prices and hers doesn't. But it's just that old kind of cool. But, at today's day and age, maybe it's time to talk about it. But for now, it's old school.
I love those little touches of
it's nice.
of the past. All right. All right, so let's go this way.
Gift shop, liquor store.
By the way, the liquor prices are reasonable compared to other.
If you find it anywhere else cheaper, we'll match it.
Really?
Yep.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and I love that you're making it affordable because that way people are actually going to spend the money on it as opposed to just bringing in tons and tons of booze on their own, right?
Yeah, that too. But mostly we're just going to make sure we give our customer the fairest shake they're going to get in this town.
Well, I'll listen. You were kind enough to send me the Kenny Rogers band last night. And they're not a tribute band. They are the band, is what they're saying.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So, they played with him for decades, apparently.
Fitness center, spa, men's barbershop.
Cool.
Women's salon. You want to see it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Let's go down there. We'll just take a quick walk through while we're chatting. So, so I got a drink last night at the show, and it was $5 for a vodka soda. And I thought she was wrong. I'm like, you could have said 10. I'd still have thought it was a great deal. So really exceptional value. And I'm starting to feel more and more, whatever hotels and resorts I go to, this nickel and diming effect that's been going on.
There's a lot of it going on.
Yeah, and I really preach trying to get value. And that's kind of what I've been feeling here because everything is priced in a way that you feel good coming out of it and you want to come back.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
All right, I'll just do a quick shot in here. I don't really want to get a picture of people working out because
so this will be all spa, fitness center, men's and women's side. This year will be completely remodeled.
Yeah.
It's like you said, 19 years old, so it's time to start making some of the big changes. So this will go down to the studs, change everything out. Fitness center complete overhaul, and the salon complete overhaul.
All right, so
but we have a couples area back there. We have 40 treatment rooms. It's
40 treatment.
It's 40,000 square feet. So women's salon, manicures, pedicures.
Everything here is so much bigger than I expected.
Yeah, it's good size.
I feel like this should be enough.
Wait till you get to the Equestrian Center.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
So big pool.
Yeah.
We hotel guests only or Grandview guests. With the size of the hotel that we have, we just can't. We'd love to be able to welcome our locals out here, but we just don't have enough space. When the hotel's full and the weather's nice, this thing fills up. You got a deli, you got a bar in there.
Yeah.
Same thing you're talking about. Reasonable drink prices when you're out here. But at the end of the day, it's
beautiful place. How do you keep track of it all every single day?
I have really, really good department heads.
That's great.
You got to rely on them, and we don't, because here, the corporate structure, a lot of places, you got GM, assistant GM, director of ops, assistant director of ops, so there's a lot of levels, and to communicate through that stuff. Here, it's Michael Gaughan, me, and 36 department heads. So you're on the front line, so you got to stay in the know, because there's nobody else that's going to be, in the middle taking care of stuff.
Yeah, and not only that, but you can make decisions real quick.
Right now.
Somebody makes an observation, you can enact it right away.
Got it. Very efficient.
I find as good as corporations can be at making money, sometimes those layers really prevent them from being at the forefront of being able to deliver that great anticipatory customer service.
For instance, everybody's got a food and beverage director, and then what's the first thing a food and beverage director does? They hire a food manager and a beverage manager.
Right.
Well, why do I need that guy? Let's hire a food manager and a beverage manager.
Right.
Same thing, race and sportsbook. We have a racebook manager, sportsbook manager, no race and sportsbook director.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
It works for us.
Yeah. And it might not work everywhere, but here
for sure.
Under one.
A little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. How do you keep it feeling personal and more of a family kind of a company?
Michael Gaughan.
So, yeah.
He's been building that culture for 60 years, and we got to cut through here.
Yep.
If we can.
There's a whole lot of people.
A little bit of traffic.
Yeah.
So it's Michael Gaughan is the most loyal person I've ever met, and he's loyal to his employees and he's loyal to his customers. Like this young lady right here. Hi, darling.
Like that.
It's just me. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. And I agree with what you said. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's my aunt. Oh no, just kidding. So the way he treats his employees, the way he treats his customers, so loyal. They're loyal back to him, and they have come to understand what he. I mean, if he's walking, he's here every day, walking in the casino, talking to customers.
Wow.
He wants to know what's going on. If the phone rings, he picks it up. If someone shows up in the office, hey, I want to talk to the owner. They walk in. He might send it to me first, but if they really want him, they get to him. And so it's just become this culture that has manifested itself, at least at this property, over 19 years. But for Michael Gaughan's casinos that he's built 5 casinos. He built a riverboat and the Casino Queen. So if you don't subscribe to it, you're not going to last real long, because it's just you're just not going to fit. But when you come in here and you see all these employees and they're happy and we try to have a really good time here, right? If we're having fun, our customers are having fun.
So how do you make sure that people really have fun? Because I hear these buzzwords all the time, but how do you really make it happen?
Well, give them what they want. Make sure they have whatever they want to do, whatever they want to eat, whatever they want to see. We have it for them, and we make sure they know everything that's going on, so we can show them what's happening, and then we just make sure our employees know what's going on as well and can talk to them. And then you can't just make it happen.
Right.
I mean, we've been doing it for 19 years, right? And it's just kind of become. That's just what it is here.
Yeah.
And that's just it is hard to explain.
No,
and
I get it.
unless you got an owner that's been doing it for 60 years, you can't just replicate it. You can't just out of thin air. And he has developed his department heads over. I mean, I got a guy that's working here he's been working for Michael for 53 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So this is 80,000 square foot exhibit hall. We do everything. So right now we got Boot Barn moving in there. I do 6 $1 million bingo games in there.
Wow.
We do trade shows. We do motorcycle auctions. It's an 80,000 square foot column-free exhibit space.
Wow.
Loading dock off the back, so we can pretty much put anything in there that we want that'll fit in 80,000 square foot.
How do you know when it's time to add a new element? Like, what makes you say, we want a movie theater, we want a bowling center?
Well, most of the stuff was built at the beginning of the property. Right. So Michael took all the other amenities that he had at the other properties, what worked out well, what drove the right customers, and he kind of put them in here.
Right.
We did add We actually haven't added much as of late, except for this tournament bowling facility, because we're landlocked. I mean, when you saw it, we're on Silverado Ranch, Las Vegas Boulevard, and Grandview.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of ways with which we can add on. We have added on to the Equestrian Center. We added this building we're going up to now. And this came about I got here in 2010. So Christmas Eve 2010, my bowling director at the time, Mike Moniak, came and said, hey, we want to do this. I got this thing. It's the United States Bowling Congress. They do 4 events a year. So it's kind of like the USGA for the golf.
Right.
They don't really host 3. They don't really host a lot of events, but they host 4 a year. Open Championship, Women's Championship, Junior Masters, Senior Gold. And we got with them and said, if we were to build you a tournament bowling facility, could we have, and we ended up, I think we started with 4 events in 8 years. And we said, okay, we'll build it.
Right.
So we built this. So this is the number 1 state-of-the-art. There's only 2 bowling tournament facilities in the country. One's in Reno, one's here.
Wow.
So we partnered with USBC. We said, what do you want? So first thing we need is it's called Bowling Ball Express.
All right, so let's go look at that.
So it's all about convenience for the customer. So they got a freight elevator there. They ship their balls here. They come up that elevator, and then they get stored back there. So when you go check into the hotel room and you come bowl in the Open Championship or any bowling tournament, really,
So you don't have to break your bowl.
you don't have to pay to put your balls in the
So I
plane.
was wondering what all these lockers.
So you come here, you get your balls, you go, you bowl in the event, you put the balls back in the locker, you get the balls back out, you go back and bowl, because in the Open Championship, you bowl 9 games, 6 one day, 3 the other. So then you put your balls, you go back and bowl, you put your balls, you go back and bowl, you take them right back here, you ship them home. And it's just a very convenient thing for the guests.
Yeah, I love that you guys are taking that specific angle, because nobody else is really doing it, as you said, just in Reno. So that really opens you up to a whole piece of business that others aren't going to be able to compete.
You really can't. So unless it's in Reno or here, really, if you go like it was here in Cashman Center in 2009, you can't put this event in a normal bowling center, because what are you going to do with all your other tournaments and leagues and customers that you have that are bowling?
Where the hell do you put the seats?
You're going to keep, well, yeah.
Even though it's usually only like 5 or 6 rows or something
Right.
like that. I mean,
But so you have to, so now next year they're in Shreveport, and they're building in a convention center. They're building a bowling center.
Wow.
In order to be able to host this
that
tournament.
seems expensive.
But this thing that we built is, we said, what do you guys want? And we built it exactly their specifications. So you got the reg desk. So you come register for the tournament. Like I said, 55,200 bowlers.
Right.
Which is, I mean, it's phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
How do you imagine that many people? And they bring in probably 120, 130 employees, and they run the entire tournament. All we do is we make sure our link. So we build them offices. They got meeting rooms back there. But this is where everybody checks into the event.
Right.
Then you're going to come around here and you go into the Pepsi squad room, and you got to weigh your balls. The average bowler brings 5 balls, so we have to weigh
Really?
250,000 bowling balls.
200. All right.
So this is squad room. So you'll have 300. We have 60 lanes. They're 5-man teams. So 300 bowlers will be sitting in here in order by lane. So 1, 2, 3. Your team sits together. There's usually a photo booth right here, so you get your team picture. We got the stub lane, so it's a fake bowling lane, but you get your action. You get your action shot. Throw the ball, take the picture. Then we got the brackets room. So over there, you can't bet on this event. It's amateur.
Right.
But you can get into bracket wagering, and this is where your mind will be blown. You have $5 brackets and $10 brackets. $10 is the spendy bracket. I won't go into exactly how it works, but basically you're bowling 3 games, so it's like an Elite 8 bracket. Right. In the first game, it's A versus B, and C versus D, and then D and A go in the second game, and then whoever comes across. So it's a $10 bracket, 8 people's, $80. $10 goes to the house. It's a lot of employees.
Yeah, right.
$50 goes to first place. $50, $20 goes to second place. That's it.
That's cool.
Go down to the Sportsbook. Your name's on the screen. Ryan Growney won $180. Great. I walk up, I get my $180. At the end of the year, what do you think we paid out in bracket wagering in $50 and $20 increments?
I'll just say $250,000.
$9.9 million.
Oh my God! $9.9 million.
But that just shows you when you have the masses, right? And that's what the South Point really is. We're the masses. We want to make sure we're not the Wynn. We're not the Venetian. If you come in at a blackjack table, we don't know you. $2,000 is all we're going to let you bet in blackjack. You go to the Wynn, $200,000 you can bet at blackjack. But that's not who we are. That's not who we cater to. We're the masses. And so when you talk about 55,000 bowlers, you talk about 5,000 team ropers, or you talk about some of these events that we do, That's what we're trying to push through the
So
building.
your mathematical formula in order to reach profitability is very different than what those major resorts are on the Strip. A lot of them are making like 95% of all their money from high rollers, right?
Yeah.
So we're not out.
We're not
Yeah,
we're not that.
Yeah, I mean,
In most of your local environments. I mean, obviously Red Rock's going to have some higher play and some other places, but we operate on a locals model.
Right.
But we have 2,200 hotel rooms.
Right.
So it's just kind of a bonus, and our hotel guests get the benefit of those local.
I can't believe
the
how
local philosophies.
giant your hotel is.
That's pretty good size.
Yeah. I think that makes it one of the larger off-strip ones. If I'm not,
It's got to be the largest off strip.
yeah. All right. So let's take a look at still at the bowling area. So we're going to take a look at what the tournament space looks like real quick. Next, then my guess is head over to the Equestrian Center.
You got it.
Yeah.
No horses. I don't think we have any horses yet. We just had 1,000 reining horses move off property yesterday, and then we'll have about 800 cutting horses moving in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So tournament bowling facility, what the hell's the difference? Not much. We have a bigger settee area because they bring so much equipment. You got to have bowling ball bag storage and all that stuff.
Right.
You got 5-man teams, so just 4 chairs. The ball return is set back a little bit farther than normal because these better bowlers, it gives you a better angle of attack when you're trying. I'm not really a bowler.
Right.
I'm not actually not a bowler at all.
Right.
I tried when we got this. I started taking lessons because I wanted to get better.
Right.
And I quit.
Well, I was at a bowling league in 6th grade.
Okay.
Which is great. At the end of it, I got my own ball, so that was exciting.
I have one in my closet. It has 1 game on it. But from the foul line to the pin setters, you're basically it's pretty much the same. Another big difference, that's one big Daktronics board. So if you're in competition, if you notice, anywhere you look, so you're bowling over there, I'm bowling over here, we got some side action, I can keep an eye on what you're doing. I can read your scoreboard from here, and that was very important to them from a competition standpoint.
Right.
Then there is some seating. For the most part, we do one PBA event, and every seat's full, plus overflow, plus we have to bring in bleachers. But for the most part, it's friends and family that are coming out to watch these guys bowl in the tournament.
When you show me how many lanes were downstairs,
64 down, 60 up.
why so many up here? That's an insane amount of lanes.
55,200 bowlers.
Right, okay.
I need more.
Right, otherwise it would be
We do
8 months instead of 6 months.
Right. And I can't do that because, so this bowling tournament ended July 29th. Then we did another 5,000. We do a military bowling tournament, and it started August 6th. So they wanted to go later. But I got Brad Edelman,
right,
and he does 3 tournaments with us a year. So this center this year will be in operation probably, I don't know, 320 days.
Wow.
Yeah, between the big tournaments, the medium tournaments, and then we do some small stuff that it might just be 200 bowlers that come out here, but it's here, it's available.
That's a lot. That's great. It drives rooms. It drives rate. It drives everyone using all the different facilities within here. So, I'm really seeing the story coming together as, a lot of different things to help complete this puzzle that we talked about at the beginning of the interview with trying to slot the right amount of rooms and get that occupancy at the right rate. As we're walking over to the Equestrian Center, what is it that the typical customer here is really looking for, and what makes them say, I got to tell my friends and I got to come back next time?
I'm going to tell you, nice employees, cleanliness, place is clean, and excellent food. We have excellent food. It's always been, those are probably the 3 most important things when Mr. Gone, and then make the prices fair. And you do those things, and then you're going to get to the casino floor, and we're all 3-2 on blackjack. Our slot hold is low. I can't say lower than anybody, but it is. When we see some of those slot holds reported, ours is considerably lower. Give them, let them play. Especially from a local standpoint. We just did a report because we're doing our New Year's offer. We had a guy that was here 360 days last year. He was here 360 days playing, actively playing in a slot machine. Give him a shake. Let him play. So who was someone just. And that's always the comment. Oh my gosh, all your employees are so nice, and I had a meal in primarily prime rib, and it was so good. And the hotel rooms, 500 square feet, beautiful hotel rooms. We have some beautiful suites that we have 3 sections of suites. 1 section completely remodeled last year, turned out very, very nice. So I think that's what people are going to say.
The room that I have,
and it's comfortable.
Yeah, the room that I have is on your top floor.
Those are the ones that just got redone.
Yes, thank you so much for that. It's a gorgeous 1-bedroom suite, super, super spacious. It felt very, very upscale, much more, I think, than the price point I'd guess that you're charging for that room.
You'd be right.
Yeah. So really, really well done up there as well. It just feels so brand new and fresh and clean. And I'll tell you, every single interaction I've had here with all the different parts of the property have just really blown me
And that's what we want people to say.
Yeah.
And that's what brings people
This is
back.
great. Again, like I said at the beginning of this, guys, I really had no preconceived notions about what to expect here. And it's just you're hitting it on all the marks. So the hospitality and geek in me is really, really excited about this. All right, we're going to check out the Equestrian Center next. Unfortunately, no horses. But
No horses.
what are you going to do? All right.
Good, thanks.
So I'm like, I walk in here and I'm like, oh, whatever, it's just a room. And then boom, over here, wait until you see what this is all about.
So Equestrian Center of the Year in 2019.
Beautiful space.
I don't know how many times they voted on it since.
Let's take a look at the, get a little bit of a close-up here.
So we just had an event in Saturday. It was a big reining event, 1,000 horses or so. And now, so this event that's coming in is called cutting. Now, the most important thing in any equestrian discipline is the footing. So we have to, you can see the color difference. That white sand, it's a Utah silt sand.
So I get close there.
Yeah, it's tough to see, but you can see the borderline. So that's the competition side. So we have to bring all that dirt in because the horses require different footing to run whatever competition they are that they're doing.
Right.
So they warm up down here, judges stands. We got VIP tables down there. So put tables, bars. So when we do the finals, the shootouts, everybody gets to come down here. You're right on the floor, right in the action. We bring the cat. We had to put a wall. We build that wall just for this event because it's a cutting horse event. You'll probably have 36 to 44 cows on that end of the arena because that's the discipline. A horse goes in, cuts a cow from the herd, works them back and forth. The horse does all the action. Then the judges sit right here. They get a judge score. Those are the judges' boxes, and then they're done. So this will be a 10-day show. And then usually we try for a 1-week show. So usually it's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, move out Monday, clean Tuesday, move in Wednesday, Thursday, and then, or move in mostly Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday show, right? But for some of these bigger shows, we'll let them go 10 days. But so we'll do 30, let me get this right, 38 groups, 38 horse groups that go across 46 weeks.
Wow.
In addition to that, we do the largest motorcycle auction in the country with Mecum. We do a basketball tournament.
In here.
And we do one other event. Mecum. We had an archery competition that just got too big.
Yep.
We had the largest amateur wrestling competition in the United States that got too big. And then 2 BMX events that both got too big.
Wow.
And a lot of those were kids groups. And when you can start to be picky on what groups you come in, I'm probably not going to have, I don't want to, 2,000 kids running around this property.
Yeah.
It's not great for the property. It's not great for the restaurant. It's not great for my parking situation. So we've kind of moved away from that. It's mostly equestrian unless it's like motorcycle auction. So they sold like $24 million in motorcycles here over the course of 4 days. That's going to be a good customer for you. So we put the bikes in here and there in the exhibit hall. We'll go in for next. But 4,600 seats. It's very versatile. Just about anything you want to do with regard to an equestrian event, you can do it in this building.
Cool. So before we wrap up, Ryan, what do you like most about your job here?
That you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's so many things going on. My favorite part, so I worked 7 years for a rodeo stock contractor. So I did horseback stuff and I rode and I roped. And so the cowboy hat and the boots was legitimate. Went to Georgetown, got in the casino business, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
Well, then all of a sudden now every week I have all my friends that I rodeoed with and the NFR and the PRCA. They all come here. Every week I have friends here that are involved with the equestrian business. So I'll go out back. We got Joe Baumgartner and Lloyd Free out back. So if it's a slow day, hey, Joe, saddle me up a horse, and I'll run out back, and I'll start running cattle throughout the building. And it's just, what GM in the world can leave your office, be on a horse 50 yards away, and then get to ride around for an afternoon and be around these kind of people. I love the Western way of life and cowboy people, and so that's probably the favorite. But just to be in this building and to be able to work with Michael Gaughan and the team that we have put together here, it's so much fun. I mean, you would think it's, oh my God, it's so much work. It is, and sometimes it feels like that, but for the most part, hey, let's get it done. We got to get this done.
I can tell you love what you do.
I do. You got to see one more thing, though. You got to see the stalls.
All right, let's do it.
We got 5 more seconds?
All right, let's do it, of course.
You got to see the stalls.
All right.
It's like an alien spaceship.
I could already smell that we're headed towards horse country.
I always end with this because you can't believe that it exists here. This is Barn A, if you went through here and we didn't see it, but underneath the bowling tournament facility is another 90,000 square foot, 2 additional competition arenas called the Prefer Pavilion. So you have 3 competition arenas, an indoor and an outdoor practice. The Equestrian Center is 500,000 square feet under one roof.
How many stables?
1,200.
1,200 horses could be in here?
So, well, this is the small barn. So this is 400 stalls. And then the first floor, the parking garage, people a lot of times don't notice. You have to go up if you go in the garage. It's because the whole first floor is, we got a tractor supply, only tractor supply that's not a real tractor supply. So you go in there, and whatever they don't have in there, there's a tractor supply about 6 miles away. You order it every day. They bought a truck just for our deliveries. 3 o'clock, they'll deliver right to your stall for you.
That's pretty helpful.
But the coolest thing about this facility, you know, I always use like the Lazy E, where the closest hotel might be 10 miles away.
Right.
So you drive 12 hours, you go to the center, you unload your horses, you drop your trailer, you go to the hotel, you unload your bags. It's ridiculous. Here, you pull into the Boot Barn Show Office, so we're right off of I-15 right there. Pull in the Boot Barn Show Office, you check into your room, you check into the show, you check into your stall all at the same time. Get your room keys, you come out, you give the barn bellman your tack, your saddles, your grain, your whatever. They take it to your stall. You give the hotel bellman your luggage. They take it to your room. You go out, you make it right, you park, we pick you up in a John Deere Gator, bring you back, and you now can compete in a 10-day horse show, eating a different restaurant every single night for dinner.
Well, you got 11.
Never. Yeah, well, we don't do 11-day horse shows. Never see the light of day.
Wow.
So,
I'll say it's those little things that make the big difference. Being able to just have the one check-in instead of having to go to multiple places. Having everything, you know, be seamless over here from start to finish. Being able to, you know, play the casino games, go see a concert, go bowling, check out a movie, go
get a massage.
Yeah, get a massage. Go out to the pool. It goes on and on and on. Right, man. This is pretty amazing. Congratulations on having such a fantastic, vibrant, fun business.
We like showing it off, so thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, for Ryan and myself, Glenn, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to our newsletter. Text the word hotel to 66866 for more great coverage about our incredible hospitality industry and even some cool stuff off the strip in Las Vegas. See y'all later. Bye-bye.